Ooh. That made me twitch. It didn't hurt, it just made my leg go.
But he's just, you know, them boys are just built different.
Yeah. I thought I was all right with pain, but this bit's nasty.
Joining me in the studio this episode is award-winning singer-songwriter Rag & Bone Man, whose music has been streamed online over 5 billion times. His amazing new single, What Do You Believe In, is out now, so make sure you check it out. So tell me about your love for True Romance, because you've got to love the movie to get a tattoo of it, right?
I'd say it's probably in the top 5 films of all time. Me and my missus got engaged recently.
Congratulations.
Somebody bought us this beautiful little kind of picture frame, and it's got a heart and a cherub from the movie in it, and some of the text. And I was like, should I just get that? But then I was like, I don't want like the exact one, but I wanted a reference to the film because it's kind of our little thing. Do you know what I mean? When we first met, she hadn't seen it. And I was like, what do you mean? You know, when you meet someone, you're like, what? I wish that I could go back and not see this.
But you get to rewatch it through her eyes, so it's exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, it's one of my favourite movies as well. So, like, when you told me, I jumped at the chance to do it. It's so exciting. Right, you ready?
Yeah.
How's that feel?
It's not too bad.
Good. Yeah, I think it'll be a lot better than having Machine. Mm-hmm. Machine dragging through your shins is not the greatest, but there might be the odd one where you're like, oh, you know, little pincher.
There always is. Anybody who's like, oh, no, that tattoo didn't hurt. I'm like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, you're a liar.
I just don't believe you.
I like the script you've got on your face.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of like graph style.
Yeah, that's Tom Son. He's down in SMB Tattoos in Brighton.
And you're off on tour soon, right?
I just had my first festival of the season.
Nice. Which festival was it?
Well, it was kind of my own gig outside in a park in Newcastle. It was horrible weather and cold, but still good.
Everyone came out there, I'm sure.
Yeah. It was wicked. And then this weekend I've got like one on Friday in like North Wales, and then I'm playing like Radio 1 Big Weekend on Saturday.
That's exciting. Hopefully we'll have the good weather for that.
The summer's looking a bit mad, to be honest, but it's I love playing live still, so.
I heard you saying earlier that you come to London with only shorts and T-shirts.
So like I came out just as the kids were getting ready to go to school, and I was like, I'd packed my bag last night, but I was like, oh, I'll just grab a hoodie in the morning and take it with me, and then I've just forgotten. So I basically just have a couple of T-shirts and shorts to wear.
That's bad,
and it's pretty cold.
Yeah, it
About
is.
this morning, and I was like, I'm really cold.
You might have to stop off in Westfield and get yourself a jumper.
Exactly.
And you're going on tour with Pink, right?
Yeah.
And Shania Twain.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Because that's incredible.
It's interesting. It's like, you wouldn't really put us together. I met Shania Twain in Switzerland a few years back, and she was like, can I take you out for lunch? I was like, yeah, if you like. It's quite a nice offer. And she was just a really nice person, and we got on really well. And we have like mutual friends, like people that we work with. The question was asked, and I was like, yeah, I think that would be pretty fun. And I can imagine her audience just being like crazed fans.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
She is. She's a diehard. Like,
yeah, for real.
She's a cult classic.
Yeah. And I think like any opportunity to get in front of like a crowd that maybe isn't your crowd is actually quite nice, because it just means like you're trying to get them on side. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a fresh audience to try and win over. And I'm sure you will, I have no doubt. So is Shania and Pink on the same bill?
No, Pink's tour is like her own tour. She's playing to like 60,000 people at a time.
Jesus.
Like it's crazy.
How do you deal with that? Like, do you get stage fright? Do you get nervous before you go on?
Not really. I'm a bit anxious for the sort of 20 minutes running up to the show. But I think that for me, that's mainly because I don't like waiting. I'm like, can we just do it now? I don't want to wait.
Yeah,
for
you
like,
get antsy.
Yeah, it's that 20 minutes before the show. If I'm honest, it don't really matter how many people you're playing in front of. The gig is still the same. But I do feel like you lose a bit of intimacy. Like I prefer the smaller gigs. The smaller gigs are always my favourite ones.
Of all the musicians that I talk to, I feel like everyone kind of feels that way. The intimate shows are really special.
It's
You can
because
connect to the audience more.
It's because you romanticise a time in your career when it was just small shows, and it's like in that sort of time you feel really hungry because you want to just do it all the time, and you want to be able to play those bigger shows and to more people and stuff.
And you've been performing for a very long time, right? You've been
I think
you were a drum and bass MC before you were a singer.
Yeah.
That's kind of wild. Like, people might not know that about
wild.
you. How did that come about?
Well, I grew up in like quite a small town, and everyone I knew was into jungle. Mm-hmm. Everyone. So like, if you were interested in it and you wanted to sort of partake in it, then you either always wanted to be a DJ or an MC. Mm-hmm. I was terrible at DJing. I couldn't mix for shit. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Okay. I couldn't mix for shit. I was terrible. So I just sort of naturally started like seeing if I could write rhymes and stuff. And I don't know if I was ever really very good at it, but it was fun. And I never really did like big gigs or anything, but we had our own like club night for a little while and stuff.
What, down in Sussex?
We used to do them in like Eastbourne, in just like a small club. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It wasn't really a career at the time, but it was fun.
Was it like a space where you found your voice, or did you always know that you could sing?
I really sing. I was singing at that time, but I didn't really mix the two worlds. I was like, I was still playing guitar and going out and doing like open mic stuff, and then I would do like little gigs for people, just like if people were having parties and stuff, people would ask me to come and play some songs, and I would just go and play like covers and shit. Like I wasn't really writing my own music at that time, but I would just take whatever gigs for like beer money. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, yeah, if you just get me some pints, I'll come and play.
Do you reckon you'd ever try a bit of MCing again?
Well, I'm currently working on some stuff. It's not drum and bass, but it's like, so there's a label that I was on in the early days called High Focus Records. I put out my second and third projects with them. They're still putting out music. They're pretty prolific. The artists that are on that label, I'm still pretty good friends with. And now and again, someone will have a tune and be like, "Oi, Rags, do you want to jump on this?" And so I'm currently like working on a couple of tracks where I'm rapping. I'm not singing.
Oh, that's exciting. Well, now that you've got to a level where you can do whatever you want. Do you know what I mean?
I sort of imagined that if I was ever on like a major label or whatever, that I would be sort of ushered into not doing that sort of stuff anymore for some reason. But like, I'm pretty cool with my label. I sort of just do what I want. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
they just encourage you as a creative, and
yeah, for real. They're never like, "Oh, don't do that."
That's kind of perfect.
As long as it doesn't get in the way of like their releases, then they're cool. I have dogs.
Oh, sick. I have dogs too. What dogs do you have?
I have a really big, stupid golden retriever called Ernie.
Oh my God.
And he's like thick, but he is beautiful.
Ernie is like the perfect name for a golden retriever as well.
It's really stupid.
And happy all the time.
And I reckon to this day, he's probably chewed about 2 grams worth of Crocs.
And they're a very affordable shoe, right?
And just like flip-flops, Crocs, the back of one of my son's Jordans. Like, honestly, the amount of shoes that dog has chewed up, it's ridiculous. Golden retrievers are such like stereotypical dogs. And then chewing a shoe. I have like a small French bulldog who's really old now, and she's on her way out, but she's still hanging on for dear life. Oh, bless her heart. Yeah. She's just like this little barrel that just sort of stumbles around the place now.
I love little French pigs. They're so funny. Does she snore when she's awake?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the classic Frenchie. Any like normal day in here, there's probably about 6 or 7 dogs, like chihuahuas and shih tzus. Just, we're full. We love it. I think having a dog around, especially when you're getting tattooed, is like, nothing beats it, really. So tell me about your new album and your new singles coming out.
This week.
This week.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
2 days.
Are you nervous?
I said to my missus this morning, I was like, I feel sort of weirdly nervous about it, and I shouldn't do because I love it, and I'm putting out music that I love, and it feels like a very accurate representation of like who I am, where my life's at, and everything. It's like that's the way I make music. I make it. It's very time signatured. It feels good, but at the same time, I'm like, are people gonna like it? I hope they like it.
Of course they'll like it.
Like,
Maybe it's because it's like you're showing a vulnerable side of yourself through your music, you know?
Yeah, I mean...
And the evolution of your...
This music is like happy. It's even though like some of the subjects are maybe like not so happy, but like the aesthetic of it, the how it looks and how it sounds, the music is like, it feels like hopeful. It's not sad in any way.
Yeah, it's uplifting.
Yeah, and that's how I wanted this whole project to be, and that's how it's turned out. I just worry that are people going to like this side of you? Like, are people going to take it on board or whatever? I don't know. But do you know what? The most important thing is that people come to my shows still, because like I like making music, but I prefer playing it live.
Do you want to be on the stage forever?
I mean, not forever.
Not forever, but like you want to be gigging like for a long time.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, definitely. Like until I can't be bothered anymore, and then I'm going to buy a pub.
Oh.
Because I quite like beer.
Yeah.
And, I thought it'd be quite cool.
Be the owner of a public house. My grandparents were the landlord and landlady of a pub their whole life.
For real?
Yeah, my mum grew up in a pub. My dad still drinks in that pub to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't beat a good pub. It's the heart of a community.
Like a proper old school pub, yeah.
Yeah. I can see that for you.
Yeah.
Definitely. With the kids running around, living upstairs.
Maybe not. I mean, hopefully they'll
grown up by then.
Grown up and left home by then.
They'll be working behind the bar, helping you out.
Yeah.
Would you want to work behind the bar if you had a pub?
I probably would, but...
You'd be the host?
I'm not really like a big host. I reckon my missus would be the host because she's proper extrovert. I'd probably be in the kitchen because not my first job, but I worked in a pub kitchen for like, I don't know, maybe like 5 years or so.
That would make you sweat.
It's all right. It's all right. So is it just you here?
I've got 7 artists who rotate on the stations,
okay.
Yeah. And I like it here. I like the little co-op space. I like the sense of community, you know. So you've done loads of amazing collaborations with people. Pink, Calvin Harris. Who is one of the most memorable collaborations you've done and why?
That sounded like a blind date question.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
What's your name and where'd you come from?
Yeah. I don't know, actually. Pink, for instance, like, it came from a song that I'd written and I'd sent over. She was like, yeah, I'll do like the second verse on it, which I'd already written and stuff. So it didn't really feel like a collaboration. It was like she was joining me on a song that I'd already written. But like, I did this one song and people like, with a rapper called Jan Baxter and this old school grime artist called Dirty Goods. He just randomly sent me this beat and was like, oh, what do you think about doing something like this? And I think he meant like, just do like a singing hook or whatever on it. And then we'll do the rapping part. But I just wrote this whole verse and it ended up being this song we did together. We ended up doing this amazing video for as well. And that's sort of my favourite thing about it. It's this sort of super creative video where there's all these weird like animatronics and it's like all of us sitting around a table eating this really strange food that starts coming alive. And there's like weird like kind of Sigourney Weaver alien style shit coming out of the table and it's just the whole like the song and the collaboration of that and the video and stuff together is probably my favourite.
So where's the first stop on the old tour?
I'm basically just doing a bunch of festivals now.
Because it's festival season, isn't it? So you're doing all the big ones. Are you doing All Points East? I'm
not doing All Points East. I'm not doing as many as I thought I would, but the thing is, I think next year will hopefully be the busiest in terms of festivals because I'll have more music out. Like this year, I'm only going to have like one song out when I start all the festivals. When I do next year, I'll have like the whole album out.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'll be able to play like that and, hopefully people will know some more songs. Playing kind of quite a lot of random festivals, doing like Latitude, which is cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like a nice chilled family kind of festival.
Are you going with the family?
Well, I think I might get the kids up on that one.
Yeah, of course.
I've tried to take them to some festivals, but then sometimes it doesn't work out because like I had one festival that ended my season last year that I was like, I'll get all the kids to come to. But then I realised that I was on at 12 o'clock and it was like a drum and bass festival.
Oh, okay, yeah, so everyone was just pinging out their little nuts.
Everyone was just gurning. And to be honest, I didn't even know why I was playing it. I played after like DJ Fresh and everyone was just hyped up, just like absolutely having it. And then I come on and started playing some ballads and everyone was like... everyone didn't not enjoy it. I think they were just a bit freaked out by the change in pace.
Well, especially if everyone's gunning their little...
Yeah, exactly.
Jaws away. I'm sure they were like... But then when the music took them, they were probably just like, oh my God, take me, Rag and Bone Man, to your musical bliss. And what's the writing process like for you? Do you like to kind of nest somewhere? Or...
I like writing with other people.
Okay.
Like I do write songs by myself, but I sometimes feel like it's a bit of a lonely process and I kind of need someone to like bat off of.
Sounding boards are always good.
Yeah. And like I've got like a few friends, that I've known for a long time that I feel like really comfortable writing with. Whoa, that one was nice.
My bad. Yeah, I felt that one go through you.
Yeah. It went like right up into my head almost. I can't remember what I was saying now. The writing process, yeah, like I've now at this point in my career, I feel like I've got all the people that I need, and all the connections that I need to make the music that I need to make. Do you know what I mean? It's like I do now and again. You meet new ones, and you're like, oh, that's changed my perspective on this, or it's changed the way that I write a little bit. So like every kind of new connection is like a new learning process. It must be kind of the same if you like watch other people tattoo or you watch other people draw or whatever it is. It's like
even the customers as well. Like they can, they can open your mind in ways that make you look at, even though they may not know what they're doing when it comes to tattooing, but it makes me look at things differently from a different perspective, which can be really helpful. Do you like to write at home and like get everyone round, or do you take yourself away? I
like the idea of writing at home.
Well, with all the kids running around.
Well, the thing is, I built this studio. It's like at the bottom of my garden. It's just like a wooden kind of shed. But it's got a really nice studio inside. And I built it because I was like, I need that little sort of creative space. But nowadays, I feel like it's not really like going to work. I feel better if I kind of leave home and go somewhere else to work. I feel like it's more conducive to like creative atmosphere to be somewhere else.
Do you normally go abroad or do you keep it local?
It's more because I think like the kids are going to be home at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, and then you feel under pressure.
Someone's going to knock on the door and then I'm like, that's going to be the end of our session because then I can't really think about anything else. On this record, we've been using it's mainly just all been London. Like I've been using like The Bridge, which is like a MONERO studio.
That's nice though, you get best of both worlds. You can come into the city and work and then just
and then
go
fuck off back home again.
Yeah, exactly, and just relax. You've got it sorted. You're on like the press circuit now.
Yeah.
Stress.
It's my worst part of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to say like I hate doing promo, but...
I can imagine it's like not the most fun part of the gig.
The thing is, where I'm at now is I'm really lucky to have... I've basically got a really good team of people that do that stuff for me. So I don't really have to be actually like doing it. I don't do it myself, and so that makes me feel better about it.
Do you just have to kind of show up and be your charming self, and then you can go home? So you're going to love the healing process for this because it's so easy compared to machine.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, should heal within about 3 to 6 days usually.
Beautiful.
But I'll put some of the second skin on it for you as well. So then you just don't even have to worry about it for the next few days. Especially if you're on the press tour. You don't want to be worrying about like a leaky tattoo on your leg.
What's everyone putting on tattoos for healing now? Is it like, because it always, I feel like it always changes and everyone's like, you should use this. Or you should, like back in the day, it was like, go to the shop and get Preparation H.
Yeah,
Do
the
you remember
hemorrhoid cream.
The hemorrhoid cream.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, and it just made it all gungy and disgusting. And I was like, oh,
and then
that's
it went
horrible.
from hemorrhoid cream to nappy cream.
Nappy cream.
And now, because tattooing's such a big industry, like there are companies who are just making ones specifically for tattooing.
Yeah.
Which is great. There are some really good ones out there, some really bad ones. I'm going to give you some really good ones today.
Okay, cool.
From this company called Stories and Ink. It's just a really thin cream. You can start using it after you take the second skin off in a few days.
Yeah.
And then you can use the soap as well.
Cool.
It's this one. It's just like a little foamy soap. But yeah, there's lots of different ways to heal tattoos, and I think you should kind of just listen to your artist and trust your artist because they should know what heals their tattoos the best. I just think a tiny bit of aftercare cream, but like very little. I don't think you need to overdo it with that stuff.
Ooh. That made me twitch. That one was, it didn't hurt, it just made my leg go.
It might be some of the nerves, especially on the scar.
Maybe. Yeah, I had an operation on my knee when I was like 14.
Did you hurt it doing sports or something?
No, I didn't. I had a bone disease.
Oh, really?
Yeah, made it, because I grew really quickly. I went from like, you know, like normal sized kid to like 6'2" overnight. Like it was, I think I was like 14 and I was like 6'2". So like I had a bone disease, but basically it makes sure the growth plate in your knee crush.
Because it's growing too fast?
So it's growing too fast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it makes sure like your leg all like fucked up and bowed. And I used to like walk really strangely. And so I had to have that operation.
Did they give you a knee replacement?
It was basically like pins and like a fake growth plate type thing.
Oh, nice. Yeah. It's amazing what they can do.
So.
Yeah, this top bit might be a bit spicy, but we're nearly done with the lines and then...
That's all right.
Is there anyone that you really want to collaborate with in the future? Like if you could pick your top 3 people who you haven't collaborated with yet.
I don't know, man. Yeah. Loads and loads and loads of people. But I was thinking recently, like, you know, we lost like quite a lot of good musicians over the last few years. Mm-hmm. And I think about people like before it gets to that point that I would love to collaborate with some of like heroes. Like, you know, like, I don't know, like fucking Willie Nelson or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
That would be
It would just be fucking amazing.
I'm sure Willie would be well down for that. I feel like Willie Nelson's a nice guy.
I know like country is quite sort of, is having a bit of a resurgence, and Dolly Parton or like...
Oh my God, that'd be incredible.
I grew up on a lot of country music, so like Emmylou Harris or something like that kind of would be really cool.
I could imagine your voice would go down really well on a country track as well. And Americans love British people, like, I think they love, do you know how much they love James Blunt?
You're British?
Yeah.
I've had that so much when I've been away.
Oh yeah, literally that's all I hear.
It's either, oh my God, you're British, or oh my God, you're Australian.
Yeah, they always get the two mixed up.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, actually, I'm English. I'll have you know, I'm definitely not Australian. How do you deal with being famous like that?
I live somewhere where there is no one.
Yeah, that's a great way.
Is basically the answer, yeah.
You hide.
I live in a village that probably has about 500 people in it.
Oh, that's perfect.
And like, most of them are quite old, so they don't really care who I am.
I thought you'd be flinching a lot more, because the legs are a bit twitchy anyway.
The leg's not a great place, but it sort of depends on, it always depends on who I go to, whether it hurts that much or not. Because like, my mate Tom, I love, and his tattoos are amazing, but he is a little heavy-handed. He won't mind me saying.
Oh yeah, you either are or you aren't.
Yeah, exactly. But he's also quite quick, which is it's more painful, but it's done quicker.
I would rather have it that way than the other way around.
What, like really slow?
I'd rather be, yeah, like, for example, I got the spider webs on my neck. A guy called Duncan X did them. He's like this old school tattooer. He's been doing it forever. And he uses the coil machine, so there's big, loud, like rattling.
Really loud,
yeah. The really old school loud machines that you're used to hearing. And he did it, but he is so brutal. But each one took 10 minutes. And I was like, I would have rather have been there for
do that super painful,
than be there for an hour on each side. And by the time it's done, it's all swollen and sore anyway. So yeah, I'd rather just get out of the way, get it done. But I'm like that with the laser as well. Like, if I can get in the zone with the laser, I kind of like, the first 5 minutes is horrendous, but then I'm kind of like, yeah, go on, do it.
I think it's because you tense up loads, and then obviously the more you get, the easier it sort of becomes.
All that adrenaline starts releasing in your brain.
Or it's worse, because like, you know, like some days you feel like if you go and have a tattoo, you're not in the right mood for it.
Oh, yeah.
And you also, so it feels like everything makes you flinch. And like, do you know what I mean? You feel like your body feels a bit sensitive, maybe you haven't enough sleep or whatever it is. You've
definitely got to have your head in the game. Yeah. Or else it's just, especially if you've got like a long day session, it's...
I had that once and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna put loads of numbing cream on myself an hour before, and I scrubbed my skin and everything. I covered it all up and I was like, fucking hell, I can't feel anything. This is amazing. An hour and 20 in,
it all starts wearing off.
It all just started wearing off, and it was so much worse than, do you know what I mean, if it would have been where I've just not put any on in the first place.
I'm a numbing cream girl now.
That was a mistake.
I can't do it without it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's just...
Do you know yourself if you're doing it to yourself?
I haven't tattooed myself in so long, you know, but I don't think I've ever numbed it when I've tattooed myself.
Yeah.
I got my neck done recently by my friend, and I numbed the shit out of that, and it's
There's
still
good
killed.
numbing cream now, though, isn't there? It's not like
It's all about how you put it on as well, though. Like, preparing the skin is half of it. Like having a hot shower, exfoliating the skin, shaving the skin, and then putting the cream on and wrapping it soon after that, and then leaving it for a good hour and a half.
Yeah.
That's the way. And with the right cream, that can keep you numb for like 6-7 hours.
Yeah, I did it once, and I was like, I made it through a good 4-hour session, and I barely felt a thing.
Right, I'm just gonna shade these hearts, and then we'll be done.
That's interesting, that feeling.
At least we get some good reaction shots from you for the camera.
Yeah.
So I did read that you were expelled from school for being a very bad boy. What did you do to get expelled?
I wasn't that bad. I wasn't that bad at all. So my first school I went to, I was bullied by this kid a lot.
You had to put him in his place?
I put him in his place with my fist.
Good for you.
And then they said, we don't want you back at this school anymore. So I had to leave. And then I briefly went to school in like Great Yarmouth, because that was sort of a punishment from my mum being like, you've got to go to school and go and live with your dad for a little while.
Because you got expelled from the other school?
Yeah, and that didn't really work out for me. That just sort of made me worse. And then I ended up coming back to live with my mum and then going to school there. But school was never really a thing for me. I didn't like it. I didn't really go. Like, I look at my kids' schools now, and they're like fortresses. Like,
yeah, you could just walk in and out back in the day.
But like back in the day, I would just go to like the first, registration, and then be like, see ya.
I'm out.
I'm off.
Yeah, I was kind of the same. School was not something that I really partook in, especially like from after year 8. I didn't do my GCSEs, and I was out living on my own when I was 15. I thought, I'm an adult, I can do this. So what were some of your musical influences growing up as well? Because we've spoke about so many different types of music today.
I guess like when I was really young, I was just whatever my parents listened to. Mum and Dad had very good taste in music. And it was all like, I would listen to like Hendrix, or, like I remember listening to like Minnie Riperton, and just really good like soul music, really good blues music, rock and roll, like just a massive broad spectrum of music. Like from like Dylan and Janis Joplin and stuff like that. Like it was a really good eclectic mix of stuff.
So that's what kind of moulded you, and then you left home and got more into the drum and bass side of things.
Yeah, and drum and bass and hip hop was like, that thing of like you kind of, not a rebellion, but it's like this is such the opposite of what my parents like musically. It's like anything that's really extreme is the kind of thing you go to at like 12, 13 years old. And it's like, you know, I'm going to listen to fucking Guns N' Roses or Skunk Anansie, and then I'm going to listen to like Snoop Dogg or Wu-Tang, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that kind of shit. It's like you're trying to move as far away as possible from what your parents like.
It's funny, isn't it? I talked to Joe from Idols about this, about like rebellion and how kids rebel against their parents, and because we're quite alternative, our kids will probably rebel, and you know, he was saying his kid will probably rebel and be an accountant. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, I'm nearly done. I'm sorry. I know this is torture.
No, it's just that last bit it's a little
It's always
tasty.
the last 10 minutes, isn't it? I tattooed this guy yesterday. I got him booked in for 5 days this week to do a back piece on him.
Wow.
And we like lined the whole thing yesterday, so he's going to be getting the shading treatment today.
Oh.
You're like, I'm good for that.
I'm good for that. Just done about 12 minutes of it, and it's not that great.
Yeah, he's getting a whole 8 hours of it today.
Wow, 8 hours.
But he's just, you know, them boys are just built different.
Yeah. I thought I was all right with pain, but this bit's nasty.
Is that the one you're getting lasered?
I'm not getting that one lasered because I did that myself.
Oh, you did it yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. Did you do it with a machine?
Yeah, I was about 16, I think.
Was it just like you and your mates had a machine?
It was very unsanitary.
Well, it's in there for sure.
I mean, yeah.
You did well. The blackout is done. I just want to wash the tattoo and then do a few little touch-ups, but then we're basically finished.
Oh, mate, it looks amazing.
Is this the first day of your press tour?
No, I've been doing like radio promo for a few days. Basically, I've been doing it from home where possible, where I can just like do like 8 to 8 like radio stations in a day kind of thing.
Jesus, that must be exhausting.
It's not like necessarily like hard work, but it's by like your 4th or 5th interview, it's finding new ways to answer the same questions.
Yeah.
Most people are not very creative when it comes to interviews, especially like radio ones, because they're always like, hey, it's such and such in the morning, and we're going to have Rag and Bowman. And then you got sort of pretend to be quite interested and happy about being on their radio show or whatever. And then like essentially just asking you, the same questions you've been asked a million times. That's the bit that's kind of hard work, because you're like, well, I don't know how to say this again without sounding like I'm bored out of my fucking brain.
Yeah. Right, just going to fix one of the letters and then we're finished. And this twitchy hell that you are trapped in will be over.
Do you know what? It's only been like the last like 20 minutes that's been a little bit like twitchy.
I feel like it always is, no matter how long the tattoo, like, it's always the last 5-10 minutes where you start, because you know it's coming to an end as well, and your body's like, right, I've had enough. So I have this really nice aftercare for you to use from Stories and Ink. It's just a little bit of cream, very thin amount. Use it once or twice a day after you washed it. And then a little foam cleanser as well.
Nice.
It's really good if you're on the road and you get stuck, you can just wash it with that.
Cool.
All right, darling?
My mum actually got Rag and Bowman tattooed on her.
Is she?
Yeah. And so it was my mate Tom in Brighton who did her tattoo. And she was like, I wasn't sure how long to leave it on for. She'd left it on for like nearly 2 weeks.
Oh, goodness.
So are you okay? Do you want to just like check whether it's like infected?
Not mouldy in there.
Yeah, I know. Luckily it wasn't, but.
So 2-3 days maximum. Yeah. I'm done.
Yay.
Smashed it.
Amazing.
Well done for being able to have such an eloquent conversation as well.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.